How's it going? I was going through my comments and I came across this one. I can't tell you why, but it spoke to me deeply.
Dearest Mort, your channel is an inspiration to me, as are you. Your insightful knowledge is only bested by your keen sense of humor. I envy the magical way you not only collect games, but make amazing content. Truly, you are a master of your craft. I never had an N64 as a kid, but my neighbor friends did. I recently purchased one, and it is a lot of fun. Still working on building that part of the collection, but I don't see games in the wild all that much. Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
That is 100% exactly what the comment was. I'm serious. So of course I read this and I move. I mean, this person's in an area where they're not seeing N64 games. They just started an N64 collection. I'm here to help. As someone who gets a lot of really good deals at the SWAT meet on video games, I wanted to pass that on to a viewer just because. The fun thing about this is it's just kind of a surprise. I'll do it when I want to. I'm gonna get you 10 N64 games for you to add to your collection for totally freezy, no problems. So before I went to find the N64 games, I needed to know what this viewer already had. WWF Warzone, Mario Golf, Wave Race, Zelda, The Ocarina of Time, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, Extreme G, Star Fox 64, and Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Here's my 4 rules for finding these 10 games. Number 1, this guy says he likes racers and he likes shooting games, so I'm gonna lean towards those genres if I can. Number 2, I'm avoiding sports common games. Number 3, I'm gonna do my best to find at least 5 games that are exclusive to the N64 console. Number 4, I'm gonna try and find you at least one first-party title, a Mario game, Kirby, something like that. With those rules out of the way, let's see what we can find. Actually, before we get started, I've got a game for you. When I was at the Game On Expo, I went to the SWAT meet with Gabo, Tiny, and Jesus, and I found this game in a lot there that was really cheap, and it's a really great game. Wetrix is not a shooter, it is not a racer, but it is an exclusive to the N64. There's a Dreamcast version of this game, but it's like a different game. Wetrix is a puzzle game that can be quite addictive. It's a very unique title. It's not just like a Connect 3 and they pop or a Bust a Move kind of a game. If you don't like puzzle games, it's still worth giving this one a try, and it's a good quality game on the N64. You want to do the fastest flip of your life? I see my friend Boogie at the SWAT meet. He's literally one step ahead of me. He buys a GameCube and then 2 N64 games. Will you sell me one of those for whatever you're going to resell it for, and I'll buy it from you right now.
Okay, which one do you want?
Probably Tony Hawk 2.
I'll give you 2 or 15 if you want.
I'll take it. This game is available on the Dreamcast and the PS1, and it was just remade on the PS4 and Xbox One. All of those versions are admittedly better than this one. However, it's still a classic. The cartridge limitations meant that you couldn't get the full song onto the game, so when the soundtrack's playing, it's like 30-second snippets or maybe even less, and the soundtrack is such an integral part of the games. First N64 game acquired. It's coming to you. It's not a shooter, it's not a first party, it is ported to death everywhere, but it's still a great game, even on the N64. The good news is that there's a lot of N64 games here that are really high quality. The bad news is that they're priced a little more than I want to spend. I go to another booth, same issue. I have to go to the other SWAT meet to see if I can find some N64 games, because I only found one, which was abysmal. I gotta come here to the other SWAT meet and see if Michael's got his booth set up today. If he does, I'm buying. I'm hoping it's not just like all sports stuff. It's 10 a.m. Normally these SWAT meets are picked clean through. Hopefully not today. I walked through the entire SWAT meet. I look for N64 games. I don't find anything, but I know Michael's gonna have some. Well, I was gonna do the N64 games. There's a slight problem. Michael's not here today, I don't think. I don't see his booth. So that means that I'm gonna have to try and do this another time. He has this blue tarp over his booth, and it's usually visible in the very back. I go to walk back towards it, and I'm not seeing any blue tarp. Michael! Michael! Jason! Michael! Michael! Jason!
Oh, hi, Mark.
Never mind. He's here. Let's see what we got. Turns out they changed the tarp to a brown one. Yes! Yes! I got something for you today. I'm buying a viewer of my channel 10 N64 games to help him build his collection. So I need like a good Mario Kart, Super Mario 64, something in that, like a first party Nintendo, and then I'm gonna buy a bunch of these ones too. Yeah. So can you break out the good stuff? Definitely getting Armorines. That's definitely happening. Star Wars for sure. Oh, that label's chunky. Maybe. We'll put that in the maybe pile. There you go. Let's try that one. Put that in the maybe pile. This is a pretty good version of the game. This is a fun racing game. What do you got?
Smash Bros.
All right.
Super Mario Bros. 64 and Mario Kart 64.
Okay, bring them all over. So I initially grabbed every game that looks to be interesting to me for this new collection, but I've grabbed too many, so I've got to whittle the stack down to just the 8 essentials. Definitely getting Superman. Have you played this game?
I haven't played it.
It's the worst game ever made, quite literally. That's what it's known for being. So I'm getting him this. We're adding these up. Starting with this one, Smash Brothers. What do you got me out on that?
50.
Armorines?
10.
Lode Runner?
10 also.
How about Quake?
I'll do 15.
How about Overdrive?
I'll do 8.
How about this one? Label's a little chunky.
10.
You got like 3 of these. What can we do on that?
10 also.
California Speed?
12.
Command and Conquer?
15.
12? What's the best you can do on Superman? You have one at 18 and one at 15.
I don't even know where I have the like that. I was 10.
Yeah. So let's add these up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 games. I'm gonna do those 8 games. These 2 games didn't make the cut. Lode Runner 3D is a pretty good game. It's not a great game. It is an N64 exclusive game, but I just ultimately decided there's more exciting stuff in the pile otherwise. Top Gear Overdrive is a really fun N64 game. It is a console exclusive as well. Unfortunately though, with the racing games that are there, I think Top Gear Overdrive might be one you get later. You can usually find them. There's a lot of them out there and they're not too expensive. Here's the games that I did grab. This is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. There's a nostalgic component to this game that's just hard to beat. I love the mechanics, the speed of this game. If you were a kid in the 90s or early 2000s, this just brings you right back to Star Wars Episode 1 coming out and that pod racing scene. It was so brilliant of them to make this game. Quake 64 is the N64 version of Quake. This is a very fun shooter, a very creepy atmosphere. It's a lot like Doom in the way that it's set up. It's dark, there's a lot of puzzles. There is a 2-player multiplayer mode, but that was ultimately, I think, the game's undoing, is that it didn't have a 4-player mode. Still worth playing, atmospheric, difficult, intense, and a lot of fun. California Speed is originally an arcade game that was ported to the N64. It's sort of a no-frills San Francisco rush. It's worth a playthrough, it's a fun time, it's worth adding to the collection, and it is a console exclusive. Command and Conquer 64 is a port of the PC version. It's a good game, it's a fun game, it has limitations certainly on the N64. This game is best played with a keyboard and mouse on the PC or other systems or otherwise. However, as an experiment on the N64, if you like strategy games, one worth checking out. My favorite racing series of all time, San Francisco Rush. This is the sequel. I think it improves on the original in every way and is bested by San Francisco Rush 2049, but on its own, this is a great game. As a kid, one of my favorite things to do was to go into first-person mode, drive up the sides of ramps and the car flips, and you would get disoriented on what's going on, and it kind of worked brilliantly. Sorry about the label, but, you know. It's a free game. This one surprises me that this isn't on more hidden gems lists. Sorry for saying the term hidden gems. This is Armorines, Project S.W.A.R.M. If you like Turok 2, get this game. It's an Acclaim published game. It feels and plays a lot like the N64 Turok games in that the levels are pretty big. There's a lot going on from beginning to end. You're this space marine fighting giant aliens, which sounds suspiciously like a particular movie that came out around them. Yes, it's basically Starship Troopers 64. The shooting action is great. The frame rate is rough. It also has my first jump scare in a video game ever. There's a scene in the very beginning of the game where you're walking out into what appears to be an open snowy area, and all of a sudden this bug bursts out of the ground and jumps at you, and it freaked me out. The sound design on this is great. The bug sounds and everything is really creepy. If you don't have this game, or if you have an N64 and you like Turok and you like first-person shooters, I would encourage you to give this one a shot, no pun intended. And what many consider to be the pinnacle in game development, in game design, and gameplay, Superman 64. I can't say enough things about this game. You're Superman, you fly through rings constantly. There's these cars that you have to like beat a timer in order to throw them somewhere for some reason. The graphics are there. There's a lot of fog, and so it's really mysterious. This is a game, and it exists, and here you have it in your collection. You're welcome. Here's the first party Nintendo 64 game I chose for you, Super Smash Bros. Go to the origin story of this series. It's still a fun game. It's not quite as crazy and overwhelming as the newer versions of the game. Yes, Melee did it all better, but as a starting point, it's still a lot of fun, and just the sounds on this really take you back to that time when it first came out. This is a really fun game, and it's a total classic on the N64. All told, I spent $152 on these games. The total value is $185. But what did you think?
My name's Josh. We're gonna do this in one take. I've been watching Mort for a while. He sent me some N64 games, so we're gonna do an unboxing video. So Josh, aka Space Taco, thanks for watching the channel. I hope you enjoy these games for your new N64 collection. If there are any doubles or games you don't like, feel free to trade, resell, or do what you want to find other games for the collection. All the best, Mort. Oh man, I'm already. Oh man. So first up, seeing here, Quake. Pretty stoked to have that. I used to play it years ago. Seeing Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which one of my buddies has this. He brought it over a couple weeks ago. We played it. I was a little bit jelly that he had this. So Mort, that's awesome. Thank you. All right, so we got Command and Conquer. Haven't heard of this one. Armorines, Project S.W.A.R.M. This looks like some super soldiers killing some alien bugs. Maybe something similar to the vibe of Starship Troopers, which I also loved as a kid. Oh man, we got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I love Tony Hawk games. Been playing them since I was a kid. I have a few for PS2, so very happy to have this. These are awesome. We've got a game called Wetrix, based off of the spheres or the orbs on here. It might be some kind of puzzler game. Alright, so we got Superman for the N64. Love Superman stuff.
Oh, do you?
Thanks. Pretty stoked. These are crazy. I'm beyond thankful. More California Speed. I am a big racing game fan. Love racing games. You need to take your mind off things, focus on something that's not too competitive. And then we've got Rush 2, which I actually had recently found my old PS1 copy of Rush. So I have Rush and Rush 2 now. Pretty stoked. And then I'm seeing, oh man, Mort, you saved the best for last here, putting it in the bottom. We've got Super Smash Bros. With Mario, Samus, and Pikachu on the front. I have Smash Bros. For the GameCube, so I'm very happy to add this to the N64 collection. Honestly, today I have not had any of these games. These are all fresh adds to the collection. Again, Mort, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I want to thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching my hunting adventures and seeing all the deals that are out there to be had. I hope that you are being generous and kind to someone else for no other reason than it's cool to be kind.
Hi, Mort. So, the Sega Saturn...
No.